Hey, Katrina here from ScrappyHorses. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so happy you're here. I am working on a 3-gem card again for the midway over at Path of Positivity. Now I have 3 gems on this card, but this card's very different than the card I created for the beginning of the month for this challenge. So let's take a look at this one and let's do a few different things than we normally do. Today I want to talk about using Cricut Design Space as a designing tool, and I want to alter some images. Many times, in fact about 99% of the time, if I'm working on some sort of craft project that needs to be laid out, I do it right here in Cricut Design Space. Even if there's nothing to cut, I still will lay it out here and get an idea of sizes and just how it's going to layer, how everything's going to look. Sometimes I tweak, in fact, many times I tweak things as I'm working at the craft table, but for the most part, things are pretty close. Now, on this particular project, the only thing I cut in Cricut Design Space were these 2 little tags and my focal image. That was it. Everything else was either torn or cut at my paper slicer. But I knew the dimensions I wanted because I already had it mapped out here in Cricut Design Space. So let's get started on this and I'll show you what I mean. I always start with a card base. This particular card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I did my first layer, which is black, and it's about 3.75 by 5. I did that out of a textured cardstock. Then my book page is approximately 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. Like I said, none of this was cut from Cricut Design Space. It's all just a placeholder and just there for the design. This rectangle, again, it's approximately 5 1/4 by 1.1, and this particular piece is actually going to be fabric. So it is nothing more than a placeholder here also. So I can bring my flower over here, put them right down here, get my tags and pull them, and all of this I can just group it, and I'm going to hide it for now. All right, so here we are with our finished sizes on these pieces. I pulled in this Floral Bouquet by Illustrate. I thought it was a really pretty bouquet. However, I did not love this flower top. I wanted to go with this one again. My second problem with this particular cut was I wanted to add my own bow to this, so I didn't need the bow. The third thing I wanted to change on this cut is I was worried that when it cut, it was going to cut way too thin through these stems. So I thought I really would like it a little thicker. So let's talk about how we did all of that. So let's start with this image from Illustrate. First thing I want to do is select this image. Come over to Edit, left click, come to Offset, left click. I'm going to move this. I'm going to use the arrows on my keyboard. Go to the left and go to 0.014. That's just going to add a tiny bit. I'm going to hit apply. I'm going to come up here to this colored square, left click, click on my black. There we go. I'm going to sweep over both pieces now, and I'm going to unite them. Now they are one piece. That is how I ended up. with this thicker piece. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to get rid of the bow. All right. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and make this appear larger on the screen. I'm not actually changing the size at all. I'm going to come to shapes. I'm going to pull in an oval. Let's pull in a circle. And let's make this go away by clicking this arrow. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in and I'm going to see how much of this I can make go away just by manipulating this. So let's change this color to yellow. That helps us so we can see what's going on here a little better. You can see that now I'm in right here. Now I'm going to take this piece. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to bring this down. And I'm just going to join it in with the yellow piece. All right. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to select the yellow, hold my shift key, select that oval. I'm going to combine them, unite them. Now they're one piece. And I'm going to come in now. I'm going to sweep over both and slice. Pull this away. I have a little bit right there. That's okay. I'm going to sweep over all of this again and combine, unite. I'm going to bring this back, sweep over, slice. All right, so I'm going to combine that again, unite, because otherwise it would have those holes in it. I'll show you this time when we clip this out. I'm going to flip this. So now we have the opposite. I'm going to come in and do the same thing. Let's turn it yellow so you can see. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to sweep over both of them again. I'm going to slice again. Now here with the yellow you can really see. So if I pull this away again and I wanted to keep that shape, I can come back then, combine, unite, and now it's all one shape again. Let's turn it yellow so you can tell. There we go. All right, so that's why I was doing that. Now, this looks a little shaggy right here. I'm not worried about that because I know my tag placement is going to cover that. If I had left this alone, I would have been a little more careful about my slicing there. All right, now let's bring this back up here and let's fix one more thing, all right? Let's come in, let's get rid of the head of this flower. But before we do, let's do this. Let's start by just making this a little bit bigger, right? And I'm actually changing the size this time. We know that the finished size is 2.13, so let's just put this at 2.13 or approximate. I'm going to come in with this now, and I'm going to take away the head. I can always move this to the back by a right click, go here to arrange, come across, send to back. That's a right click for me there. And you can see that it fits in there quite nicely. Sweep over both, slice, and there we go. Now, let's take this and let's duplicate it. All right, let's turn this the other direction now. We're going to come up here and see this little guy right here. This will flip him horizontally. There we go. I like this shape. Let's save it by sweeping over both. Let's combine it again. Let's come in and let's take away. I'm going to flip this like so. And I want to get as much of my stem as I can here. So let's do this. Let's bring this down. There we go. Let's make it bigger so you can see. And if I want a little more of the stem, again, I can come and grab this piece, right? Doesn't have to be very big. Let's change it to yellow and then we can continue to see what we have going on. And let's just bring it right down like this, right? Let's combine these two yellow pieces, right here and right here. So this one's already selected. I'm gonna hold my shift key and left click right here. I can let go of my shift key at this point, and I can come down and left click combine, left click unite. Now I can sweep over all of this, okay? And I can slice. Right there's what I want. I can get rid of all of this now. So I'm going to delete it. Now let's play with this. I can come in now and sort of change this. Sort of get it to fit in here exactly where I want it. And here's the fun part, because you can play with these images now and you can put it where you like it, and you can get it to the thickness you like. You can do all the things that you want to do. Right, that's pretty good. Let's see what I did before. Let's go back. Had a little more curve before, and I certainly can do that. You can bump it up nice and big so you can see where it is. That's pretty good. I can also use the arrow on my keyboard to bump it slightly. That was a little bit too much. Now, when you like it the way it is, you're going to come down then, sweep over both pieces. See how they're both selected here. Come down to combine, unite, and now it's one piece. That's pretty close to what we had before. It's a little taller, but that's okay. So there are the three changes we made. We made it a little thicker. We changed the head of this flower, and we rotated. Okay. Oh, and we removed the bow. Yes, we removed the bow. All right, now this tag originally came in, I'll show you, with a star in it. So I select it by left clicking, come to contour, hide all contours. I do want this little hole. So I'm going to go ahead and click right here to open that one back up, or I can click here, which would open it back up. Then I'm going to say apply. And now you can see we have the tag with just the hole. I'm going to get rid of a few things on my screen. I'll be back in 1 second. All right, so we're back. We have our tags there. We have our flower here. We're going to have a tag that goes in here. We're going to have this tag that kind of fits underneath. There we go. We're ready to make this. So what you're going to do is get rid of anything on your screen that you don't need. So I'm going to hide this because I don't. Remember, we're not cutting any of this. We can group this and we can hide it. And these are the only pieces we're going to cut. So that's it. So we have everything hidden. We go to make, and I have a piece of black cardstock, and I have my cream cardstock. Now, one more thing I'll show you is you can always take this, move it this way, pop it back over, pop this back over, and you'll save paper that way rather than have it clear over there. All right, so then you would cut these pieces, and that's it. You're done. You're ready to put this together. All right, so I think that's all I wanted to show you in Cricut Design Space on this project. Any comments or questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Let's head on over to the craft table now and let's assemble this card. So here we are at the craft table. I have my floral piece. I have my ripped book page. I have my black layering piece that matches the little floral cluster. And I have my card base. It's sort of an ivory creamy white. And here are the little tags that we cut in Cricut Design Space. I'm going to start off here by getting out some ink and inking up some of our pieces. Now, I'm going to tell you that I got a little overzealous and inked a little too heavily on my very first book page. So I had to tear a second book page, and we'll talk more about what happened when I had to do that. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to just add some nice background texture. These are old Close to My Heart stamps, as well as Close to My Heart inks. And they're very light. It's just adding some texture to the page is all I'm doing. So now I'm going to come in with a little darker just to start giving it dimension. This is Universal Background, and the other stamp was Adorable Backgrounds. They're both retired, but I'll tell you, they are real staples in my craft room. I use them both quite a bit. So I'm going to come in with some darker inks now, again, just to give it a little more dimension, have things pop up off of there. If you're not ready to stop crafting and you don't want to go wash, if you spray your stamps and lay them down on a wet paper towel, it'll keep it moist until you're ready to clean. I just go ahead and do that and then wash all of my stamps at the same time when I'm finished. All right, here's another hint for you. Ripping fabric. I love it. If you just slice right down, you can just rip and it will rip it very straight, and it's very easy that way, and it has a nice fray. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut these since these are very short pieces there, and then I can fray those out a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and adhere my book page. I've already adhered the black layer. Now I will bring in that little piece of fabric, and I'm going to use Fabric-Tac to glue that onto the front of my book page. Now, once I have that glued into place, then I'm going to bring my little flower in. But first, let's tie our tag on. So I've got my tag here, and I'm thinking, what do I want to use? So I had this little stamp that says, enjoy your day, and I tested it on the wrong side, saw that it fit beautifully, and so I went ahead and put that on the appropriate side. Let's go ahead and tie that bow now, tie that around our stems, and then we'll glue that right onto our card front. Again, a little Fabric-Tac, just being very strategic, getting it into the blooms and the leaves, and I was able to get it on a few of the little stems. I'm going to take this one and glue it back behind. Let's bring in our 3 gems, because that is the theme for our challenge over at Path of Positivity, is to add 3 gems. So I needed to do that. All right, now let's talk about that book page, because I promised we would. When I messed up my first book page, I realized, oh my, the second book page wasn't as good. So I came in with this stamp that had that pretty little part of the A, and I just started going in around and strategically placing it over maybe some words or letters that I didn't necessarily think fit my theme very well. So that's a hint if you ever get into that situation and you want to cover some things up. You can always just come in afterwards and just get a little itty bitty bit of a decorative stamp and do that. I invite you to come share at the Path of Positivity Challenge. Our theme is always optional. So come share your positive projects with us. I will leave the link below, and I will also leave all the information about the card in the box below. If you'd like, you can leave me comments or questions, press that like button, or subscribe to my channel. That would be great too. Have a great week. I'll catch up with you in the next video. Bye.